And a fantastic season last year for Delaney Lappin. She's another player that has such a nose for goal. You cannot teach players that. What they are working on with Lappin is how can she be a little bit more unselfish? How can she keep that ball and really create for herself?
Well, Randy Waldrum said last year was a successful season, but we want to push excellence. It means doing it day in and day out. Consistency the key, and Pitt is going to take the field to prove just that against Drexel. We'll be right back on ACC Network.
Title IX was enacted 50 years ago to create opportunities for all to participate in and benefit from any educational program and activity receiving federal financial assistance. We are proud to celebrate the 50th anniversary of this essential law this year and for years to come. Our celebration is a commitment to creating greater gender equity in sports and providing more resources to ensure women's sports further succeeds and excels. Visit theacc.com for more information.
Interesting piece. Let me bring in my expert.
So many scratches.
Those are from my car keys.
Such a rich history. This won't do well at auction, but at AT&T, it's worth a brand new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5.
Wait, really?
What about this?
AT&T's deal is back.
Wow.
Everyone gets a free new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5 with a Galaxy phone trade-in. Any year, any condition.
The future is threatened by enemies often unseen.
Stay alert, Marine.
And unexpected. In the midst of an uncertain and evolving world, the need for Marines to defeat these shifting threats is critical, because the need to ensure stability for our nation has never been greater. When there are battles to win for America's future, there is one constant: Marines.
Non-dairy chocolate beyond words. Classic recipe by Lindt.
It's a back-to-school commercial.
It's too early, Flash!
You could just order your school supplies and lunch stuff on DoorDash. Comes in an hour or less.
Look, Steph, I got an instant online offer on my car from CarMax.
Well, I got an instanter offer on my car.
When you have auto glass damage, trust SafeLight. In one easy appointment, we can replace your windshield and recalibrate your advanced safety system.
That's great, thanks.
Stay safe with SafeLight. Schedule now.
SafeLight repair, SafeLight replace.
Ace back to school at Target with low prices and great deals. Score these first day finds and more, only at Target.
Welcome back. That is what 40 career goals looks like. A number 9 on her chest. Amanda West battling an ACL injury to come back fully healthy for this Pitt Panthers team. We are just about ready to kick off here, and here we go from the Steel City. Pitt in the all whites. Drexel, blue tops, blue bottoms, gold numbers. It is the second meeting all time. Drexel winning back in 2009 in the only other meeting between these two programs. Arya Masudi, Morgan Bowen joining you here, our entire ACC network crew from the campus of Pittsburgh, where the Panthers a year ago, 14 wins, 5 ACC victories, making it all the way to the Sweet 16. A quick look, 4-3-3 for Ray Goons, Drexel Dragons, Annalena O'Reilly. Morgan, she is the engine in the midfield.
Yeah, keep an eye on what she does, the experience that she brings with this Drexel program. Really look for her to pull some of the strings in the midfield as they create going forward.
Great ball to Tui. O'Reilly on her first touch of the afternoon sends it wide. In goal is Ellie Breach for the Panthers. So you get a look at the captain. 3 captains for the Dragons: O'Reilly, Delaney Lappin, and Lily Dunbar. Ellie Breach, of course, the youngster talented from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Coach Waldron very high on what she brings to the table. Long ball ahead, a 1v1 foot race. As Dayton watches it wide. 4-3-3 for the Panthers as well. Chloe Menas also battled an ACL a year ago, and she is a very important player there at the number 6 spot.
And she's back in the lineup. She did come in, obviously, in their last game, but this is her first start since her injury, and she is just the spirit of this team. When we asked Randy Waldrum, who is the one that really gets this team going, he says it's Chloe Menas, and he said she also looks like she hasn't missed a beat, which is huge. 2 players, also 3 when you count Ashley Moon, coming back from ACLs. These are serious injuries, and these players are already performing once again at that top level, so really good to see Chloe Menas back in that starting lineup.
There's Randy Waldrum, 6th season for the Panthers. And oh my gosh, I mean, he is one of the legends of the game. We have so much to talk about with Coach Waldrum and his summer with Nigeria at the World Cup. Put that on pause. Here is a cut back. It's West onto her right into the box. Near post, swings it. It misses the mark. But you already see how dangerous Amanda West can be with the ball at her foot. In wide spaces, Morgan.
And once again, it's her on the dribble. When she comes back to that inside, looking for the near post, can't get it to go. That's also a really tight angle, so maybe can she play that ball back across? But honestly, I don't hate seeing her take a couple chances early on, see what can come from it.
This is her first start since the ACL injury. Played just north of 45 minutes on Thursday on the road at Buffalo, a 2-1 win by these Panthers. Morgan, coach joked and said Amanda was mad at me on Thursday. She wanted to start as this ball to Phiri, pretty good. 1v1, Phiri turns her defender across, just behind West coming on. Now the offside flag goes up.
I love this ball from the back from Zalski, all the way forward to Phiri. She holds off her defender, is able to just get the corner. It's a fantastic ball played across. Just misses that first runner, doesn't have the second on the backside. But when we were talking with Randy too, he spoke a lot about Samiah Phiri and how last year was finding her way a little bit more with the team, and now she's really getting comfortable, and how he expects even more from her. And just what he's seen throughout the spring, early in preseason, he said she's been fantastic. That run and what she just created shows it perfectly.
Phiri, 3 goals in 2022 for the Panthers. Starting to grow into her own. And now in her junior year. Mertz deflected. Corner for the Panthers. Andy Mertz, number 6. As this is Schupansky now, number 5. Will be taking the in-swinging corner with the left foot. The junior from the Steel City herself. Pretty good ball, back post, back towards the spot. Mertz couldn't get a clean foot on it, couldn't get a shot off, but the Dragons not out of the woods yet. Taken away by Annalena O'Reilly. Right back, though, Schupansky. The Panthers, who set the home wins record last year as well. Again, a season of firsts. That's an excellent ball. A really good ball. Phiri on the touch. Emergency defending. Maxwell was there to deny Phiri. It looked like a surefire goal coming for the Panthers early in this one at home. Still Pittsburgh, pretty ball. Running on, no look. And that'll go out.
Drexel has to be so tight in their defending. They're getting beat with the slip ball. I mean, this is a fantastic ball across from Mellenhorst. Phiri is in the right place, but the team defending right now that we're seeing from the Dragons is so spot on. They maybe aren't closing the space in the midfield, but they're making up for it within the back line and really swarming. That is a key for them to be able to be successful today. They have to be strong individually. That can be a little bit better, but their team defending has to be good, and we're seeing it in those small groups. Something else for them, in order to be successful, they have to find composure on the ball. They know they're probably going to succeed a little bit of that possession, so when they win it, how can they be composed on the ball? Great possession here, making good decisions and move that ball around versus finding it and quickly trying to get rid of it.
So as Drexel continues to defend Pitt on Thursday night, 9 shots, 2 on goal against Buffalo. Both shots on goal did find the net. But Randy Waldrum talked about being a little bit more proficient in the attack. Morgan, are you seeing these Panthers, at least early on, find ways to get in behind the defense?
Yeah, it's starting deeper some in their midfield. Also, that ball that went to Phiri from Katie Zielski, their center back. So yes, absolutely. Their goal is to establish possession. They've done it, and find ways to get in behind. And they've done it not just through the midfield, but finding other ways. So for Pitt, I think another thing that can come about within a key is how can they be patient to establish that possession and get in behind. And we've seen it already that they're finding some of that success. It's just how can they put one away. So that's kind of the other part, right? Can they be composed for them to finish on the end?
Well, they do get in behind here on the shot, and it's in! Past the keeper, Pitt strikes first. Randy Waldrum smiles on. And the goal by Schupansky. First of the season for Schupansky.
Yeah, it's another ball that actually starts with the other center back, then it goes to Minas, finds its way to Schupansky, who has a really good run from that outside coming inside, gets a touch on it, and rolls that ball home. It's actually with her right foot, not her preferred left, but Schupansky, a great run, a good connection, starting with center back, center mid, all the way to your forward, or attacking mid, putting that one away.
7 goals last year for Schupansky. First of the season for the junior. Bright and sunny day in Pittsburgh. 1 o'clock kick as we take another look. What do you like about this ball here, Morgan, to Schupansky?
Well, she did get a little bit of a lucky deflection, right? It kind of fell right to her foot. But what I love is earlier on that ball is starting with the center back, Ashton Gordon, to see that she's got Minas in the middle. It's a quick turn, and then Schupansky just makes the run that she needs to. Something that we saw in the starting lineup is Schupansky is playing more in that attacking mid role with Wes sliding in on that left side. So Schupansky's finding herself in a little bit of a different position, but I love that she's still making her runs out of the midfield because we saw her have so much success out wide last year. So she's still finding ways to kind of morph that into her game, proves that it works out, and now teams have to defend not just West out wide, but also Schupansky making runs out of the midfield.
You see the effect Schupansky has had on the Panthers. The only Pitt player to have 5 goals and 5 assists or more in each of the last 2 seasons. She has been dynamite. And Randy Waldrum wasn't shy, Morgan. He said, look, Amanda West is back, Minas is back, Moon is back, but there were players who took advantage of the opportunity last year. Schupansky was one of them. Another really good long ball. Mertz, 1v1, looking for a runner all one time. Still loose, turning. A scrum at the 6-yard box. Now Minas wants it low, line drive just wide. Minas, who just had the assist and wearing the captain's armband, almost had herself a ball in the net.
Schupansky with the big ball towards that corner, finding Mertz. When Mertz plays this ball across, it's actually the outside back, Lainey Fuchs, that gets all the way forward on the back end, can't get it to go. Finally, it pops out to Chloe Minas. I would love to see her strike this a little bit cleaner. You know, she wants that one back. I have a feeling if she gets another, it's going to be a little bit cleaner when she strikes it again.
First start for Minas since 2021. 3 assists back in that year. Good ball. Just zips by West, and a foot race to the sideline. It'll be a throw for Drexel. Drexel very good on the road last year. Pitt excellent at home. Phiri creates space. That shot deflects in. It's 2-0.
That is a happy Randy Waldrum. You see him shaking his head because it starts with the win in the middle by Minas, and if you are Phiri, you cannot do this any better. Holds up her defender, turns, faces up, hits that ball with so much pace. The goalkeeper is there and still cannot get anything on it. That is a beautiful turn, bringing it right across her body, so she opens up, has the full net to shoot on. Well done from Samiah Phiri. Randy told us she's finding her way with the team. You are seeing how confident this player is early in the season.
Irving, Texas native. Pitt has taken the last 5 shots of the match, and they have 2 goals to show for it. Have been more clinical in the final third as they get into the 18 today. Not even 13 minutes into this one. And Drexel has work to do. Head coach for the Dragons, Ray Goon, was intrigued by what his Dragons are going to face today against this dynamic Pitt team. They're looking for a third, and they have got it. It's all Pitt in the first half. It's an onslaught, and there is Schupansky to find the third here for the Panthers.
West drops so deep into the midfield and knows that she has Landy Mertz on that wing who's going to get to this ball. It's a great aggressive first touch, so she can bring that right back across the 6, hits it on the penalty mark. That is a beautiful cross in the perfect spot. She knows she has the runner. Schupansky just beats her player there, wants that one a little bit more, and is able just to touch it home. That is a technical finish all around. It started with the ball from West, dropping it in the midfield, Mertz all the way to Schupansky. It's a really good start from Pitt, not just all Pitt in the first half, the first 15 minutes.
Second goal of the match for Schupansky. She's got 2. And Pitt showing you why they might be one of the best offenses and attacks, not just in the ACC, but in the country. So much experience when you look at what they were able to do a year ago, and then you add Amanda West back in the fold. Watch out, folks. The Panthers are for real. Morgan, I don't think we expected even this early from this Pitt team. 2 goals on Thursday night on the road against a very good Buffalo team, but 3 already, not 15 minutes into the start of the first half.
All right, I think what's impressive is that, yes, Pitt is having success getting in behind. That was their goal. They needed to figure that out. It's been a little bit easier because there's so much space in the midfield, so they're getting their midfielders on the ball, or in that last goal, West is dropping so deep, and they're able to find that ball in behind.
Almost had it again there, but the flag went up as West was dancing into the middle of the box from the left side of the 18.
And Aria, what's been impressive to me today is, okay, they figured out how to get in behind, but they're also switching things up when you look at the goal from Phiri. It's at her feet. She's creating a little bit more with that fantastic turn, keeping the ball right on her foot. So you're seeing little individual pieces, but then also a lot of what we saw last year when they're playing in Mertz behind, and she can just create on the wing. So they're switching it up a bit, even though the way they're getting in behind is pretty similar. Some of the finishes and the final piece has been a bit different, and that makes it hard to defend.
They just keep piling it on. Numbers flying forward. Been a lot for Drexel to deal with early. The team that went and impressed in 2022, 11 wins. Started the year 10 matches unbeaten. And Ray Goon said it to us earlier this week after they got eliminated in the semis by Northeastern. He said, we're hungry, we want more. We feel like we have a chip on our shoulders. And so Drexel, a team that was ranked 5th in the CAA preseason poll. They did get a first place vote. And you see exactly what their 2022 looked like there. And they qualified for the conference tournament for the first time since 2018. Ray Goon himself has been at the program for 27 years now, leading Drexel. You see the accolades, Coach of the Year in the conference. Good ball. Pushing forward, O'Reilly into the attack, Lappin. First time we've really been able to call her name. And maybe this is the moment of the game where Drexel and the Dragons start to grow into the match. And you saw with Delaney Lappin, 12 goals a program record last year, but maybe the result, Morgan, isn't everything that Drexel's looking to learn from this one against Pitt.
When they're focused on what they can do within their game. And we talked about how coming in, they wanted to be composed, focus on defending. Right now, it's how can they regroup a little bit? They have to make the midfield smaller. It's too big. Pitt has too much space to play. And I really do think O'Reilly continues to be a big player in this game because she's doing so much in the midfield.
Oh, Phiri whistling one past the upper 90. You can see the confidence on the ball for Samiah Phiri, really starting to grow into her own. And now in her junior year, Ray Waldrum said it. This is a player right now that's as confident as she's ever been, Morgan. And you said it early in this match, but Phiri has a chance to take that next step and become a household name maybe in the ACC this year.
Her ability to turn and go at players is what sets her apart. And we can just see in the way that she's shooting, her finish earlier, she's confident when she's striking the ball. And as a forward, that's what you want for your team. But I do think if Drexel can just make that midfield smaller and not give so much space for the entry pass to her, Phiri's gonna have to work a little bit harder. Right now, it's pretty simple for her to get the ball and turn.
Mertz into the space, Schupansky. Now Mertz again. On that right side. Lappin defending, turning, and crossing. Good work there from Joella Chase, the senior from Rutherford, New Jersey. Will play the first half here today, as Molly Piso will play the second half. And Coach Goon said we are evaluating both keepers right now to see who we will end up settling on when we get into conference play.
And I like that conversation while they're still evaluating their goalkeepers. He said his goalkeeper coach likes to give halves, and he's aligned with it as well. I agree with that, because that way you're comparing the same opponent versus allowing one to start one game, one playing a different opponent. That I really do think it's the best way to see how are your goalkeepers doing. And it was interesting just listening to his view on that, especially as they're in the process of alternating keepers.
Been a tough first half, though, for Joe Chase. Has watched the ball into her net 3 times. She continues to try and build chemistry with her back line. It's tough against these Panthers. Now West on the right side. Phiri, great cut back. Phiri dancing with it. Stays with the ball. Mertz, cross, and there's Chase. Bright moment from the keeper, the transfer from Georgetown.
Drexel's doing a better job of dropping deeper, so there's not as much space for Pitt to play in behind. You see Lappin dropping all the way back, tracing Mertz and Mellenhorst there into the corner, putting on pressure before she goes all the way back up on the wing. So that's what they need to do, is their team has to be committed. It's not the fun work, especially if you're an attacking player, but it makes the difference to really make the field small just so Pitt can't continue to move the ball, ping it around. That's what they like to do, and that's where they're really successful.
just joining us, you've missed a lot. 3 goals in a span of 4 minutes and 36 seconds. Schupansky twice, Phiri once, sandwiched in between.
Okay, I'm there. I can do it right now.
Pittsburgh's feeling really good about itself. A dominant first 45 so far, really the first 20 minutes. Pitt scored 47 goals last year. You see the scoring summary. I think they're primed for even more than that. Morgan, you have to think this offense will be a force to be reckoned with all season long in the ACC and beyond.
Well, we knew just looking at the returners that Pitt had, the production that they had last year, that they would be successful on the attacking end. I think what makes it interesting, and when we were talking with Randy, is how does he manage the talent? How does he manage the chemistry? How does he manage the minutes? Especially as they go later into the season, knowing what their goals are and that they want to go as far as possible. So there's no doubt that they would be successful, but it's just how do they manage all of that when a lot of times you talk about goals by committee because maybe there's not one leader of it, but I think with Pitt it's goals by committee because you have so many leaders when it comes to the goal scoring. So how does he manage that? But when you're an opponent, that's scary because you don't really know what the mix is going to be. You just know it's going to be dangerous.
Second corner of the afternoon coming for Randy Waldrom's Pitt Panthers. We'll have some subs. Meg Tate into the match. Isabel Kuzi out. Tate, 1 of 3 goals for Drexel on Thursday in a 3-0 win over Fordham. Ashley Moon in for Pitt for Katie Zalesky. Didn't quite know if Moon would start today. They are trying to work her back as well. Getting her healthy, an important piece to the team last year before she tore her ACL. Had an assist against Buffalo Thursday night. A senior from Somers, New York. And Morgan, just another piece of the puzzle for Randy Waldrom to figure out. A good problem to have, no doubt.
I feel like it's so easy to always say a good problem to have, but then also talking with Randy, I'm like, oh, there is a little bit more that goes into it from a coaching side. It is a good problem, but sometimes it's a big problem, and you really have to figure that out.
Keeping people happy all season, going to be part of the ingredients and the recipe for success for the Panthers this year. Oh, what a move. West finding space, earns another corner. My apologies, Mellenhorst on that run. The junior from Ottawa.
Something that goes unnoticed a bit is the footwork that Phiri shows, as well as Mellenhorst, to keep this ball in play. So many times, attackers will just let it run out. They know they're getting a corner, but the work rate from both of those players to turn the corner and still create something for their team, it's impressive.
Towards the back post, popped. Towards the 6, but the ball must have gone over the end line. It'll be a goal kick. There's a first look from Deborah Abiodun. Nigerian international, played for Randy Waldrom this summer in Australia. Oh, and she is going to be a fun treat for Panthers fans to watch this year. Randy Waldrom said, look, she's going to get in the mix. She doesn't mind defending. She's gritty, she's tough, and has enough technical ability to get forward as well. He really thinks this youngster is going to be a game changer for Pitt here in 2023.
I'm excited to see what we see from Abiodun. Just from the experience she also gained from the World Cup, but like you said, hearing Randy talk about the type of player she is and what she brings to this Pitt program, she's different from what they have in the midfield too, and I think that's what's really special. And then you have a freshman coming off an incredible experience. I can't wait to see what she brings to the field.
Pushing into Drexel's half and into the attacking third was Pitt. 3-0 Panthers. Obiodun. And you see what Abiodun brings to the table. Calm, confident as a freshman. And you have to think too, Morgan, playing on that stage this summer against some of the legends of the game only builds confidence for a player like Abiodun.
Oh, 100%. That's what's so fun to see too in a freshman, because when you just talk about the college game, you have somebody as a freshman who comes in, you can already see her composure on the ball. That's just going to grow as her career grows, as she continues to play against that level. And then you add the international experience that not a lot of players in the NCAA have. In my opinion, the sky is the limit for players like that, because they're able to bring so many different facets to their game. So it's really cool to watch, especially as they start their career, because she's just going to get better and better. And you see the things that are already instilled, like that composure. Her first pass she connected when she came on the field, had a player on her, able to just slip it by to that out wide player. Those are things that she's just going to continue to build on. So as a fan of the game, that excites me.
How does her ability on the ball impact the wingers that this Pitt team has? The Landy Mertzes of the world, the Schupanskys when she plays out wide, obviously Amanda West. How can that free them up to be even more dangerous?
Oh, it obviously draws defenders, right? Because they're going to have to step to Abiodun, but also it makes the game different, because a lot of these Pitt players, they like to go in behind. That's what they had success doing last year, but with what she brings in her skill set, it forces them to play differently and switch it up.
Well, that's another good in behind. Oh, flag had gone up. And so Pitt enjoying all sorts of space, time on the ball.
And it's another ball over the top. This one from Olivia Lee. It's not a bad ball. Phiri's in behind. I'm curious which player was called offside, because you have Bout making that run forward. But that's what we see, going back to that conversation, adding Abiodun. It switches things up, because you not just have center backs going forward, sometimes your midfield's playing forward, but then you have a player who's really a playmaker, who's comfortable on the ball and can slip little balls in. Maybe get higher up the field, connect, so it forces these back lines to step up. Then you can release that wide player like you were asking.
On the flip side, how does Drexel start to enjoy the ball a little bit more? As Phiri continues her run into the box, the Dragons are just trying to release the pressure valve, so to speak. They do it for a moment there. What do you want to see, Morgan? What adjustments can they make to potentially grow into this match and put some pressure back on Pitt?
Well, it's a happy medium, because sometimes you have to release that pressure. You have to get out just to be able to establish. But right now what we're seeing with O'Reilly, on the ball, holding it, creating there in small spaces, they need to do more of that. And honestly, the numbers getting forward were good there. They had options, but they have to be committed to those moments when they happen, because it's hard to enjoy the ball when you're swarmed with defenders, when you've been defending the whole time. So when they get it, they need to just have that composure, check their shoulder before they get it to see how much time they have, so they can in turn make the field big and create. Or if they're going to keep it small, like we've seen a little bit with Lappin and O'Reilly going forward, they need to check the shoulder first to see how much time they have, if they can actually create there.
One or two for Drexel. Does this game slow down for them at any point? The propensity to speed up. Maybe you have more time than you think. You just start your process a little bit too early.
And this buildup is good. They're still in possession. They have that ball out wide. And also what it created from was Pitt wasn't able to clear it in a clean manner. So if they can slowly add pressure, Pitt will make mistakes. They're going to cough the ball up. So how can they just make that happen higher up the field for Drexel versus more in the midfield?
Now Elise Duffy in for Drexel. Duffy, a promising young star for the Dragons a year ago. Had an assist on Thursday night against Fordham. This is good from Drexel. Oh, foul called, going the other way. We cap our 14-campus ACC football road trip this week with stops at Wake Forest tomorrow, Duke on Tuesday, Louisville Wednesday, and UNC on Thursday. Coverage begins each night at 7 Eastern right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. Those have been so much fun to watch as football season about to kick off, just a couple weeks away. And seeing the entire crew at each of the practices and each of the campuses has us itching for toe to meet leather. 14th ranked Pitt in control, first half. Abiodun. Mellenhorst. Dispossessed shot. Won't test the keeper, Joe Chase. Hockey line change coming for Randy Waldrum. You got 3 players entering the match. A good opportunity to get players into the mix, keep players fresh. You're up 3-0 as West takes a breather. And get some talented freshmen in as well, such as Aaliyah Gomes. Sophia Doheny as well. And Paige Dyzik. Really good ball. Running on, and even better defending. Duffy had got in behind the Pitt defense, but it was Ashley Moon recovering well at her spot.
Moon, another player coming back from injury. Really good recovery, getting in on that. But Drexel has chances. Yes, it's 3-0 down. It's hard to claw your way back into this game. It's just going to take one, though.
Duffy on the turn, touch. First time Breach has really been asked to touch the ball. Ellie Breach, 7 saves against Florida State last season in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. Lazzarini has departed the program for the Panthers, so it is Breach's show, now full-time.
And this last opportunity from Drexel, it's a really good turn to send that ball across. And that is not an easy touch that you see from O'Reilly. She has a player tight on her, still manages to pop that ball to the inside. Unfortunately, nobody was making that second run. Those are moments where Drexel has to be so locked in and bought into what's happening on the attacking side. It's easy to check out a little bit, but if they just had that second runner, somebody would have been in behind O'Reilly, especially with all the work that she did and the cross sent in.
Pitt building out of the back. First time this afternoon we've seen them have to keep possession. They've been so strong at turning over Drexel in their own half and being lightning quick to the net. And so now they're showing us their ability to link passes together. You already see Pitt, 10 shots today. 9 shots only at Buffalo on Thursday night. That was a rematch, by the way, of a first-round matchup in the NCAA tournament a season ago. Pitt winning that one 1-0 on its home turf. Turned over. Now on charging midfield. Looking for the through ball. And they were looking for Meg Tate. Good piece of defending by Lainey Fuchs. Played at Man City. And a part of the Austria national team. Has been tapped to play in the U19 Euro Championships. Ball in, deflected. Will it be a corner or a goal kick? Looks like it'll be a goal kick. There's Elise Duffy again.
I'd be curious to see that again, because Duffy looked like she made a really good run to the near post. And at first glance, looks like it was deflected by a Pitt defender. But Meg Tate has been busy on the attacking side. She dropped into the midfield really to create that Drexel opportunity. She was calm on the ball. She was able to connect with her team. She's also doing a lot of work as that front line of defending.
Drexel program, 37 goals a year ago. Had a lot of success in the attack. But Tate and Duffy have been pretty good since coming on, haven't they?
Tate has done a really good job of holding up play when needed, but when she can get that first touch on the ball, it's under control, and she's able to then create and drop into the midfield a little bit more, whether she's playing back or playing wide. So she has been a good addition. And I think it also helps that O'Reilly can create with her going forward, the work that they've seen outside as well.
Cleared away for a throw-in. It's number 9, Emma Goodrow. A fun little nugget about this matchup. Elise Duffy, by the way. Both parents are in attendance as her brother attends Pitt, and it's move-in weekend at Pittsburgh. So it works out perfectly for the Duffy family to move in one child and watch the other compete on the soccer field. Flag goes up. Here's a look at Duffy, 19. Furlong, Pennsylvania native, the sophomore. The NCAA field hockey season begins Friday, and we have a great doubleheader for you with some of the nation's top teams. Wake takes on Iowa at 6 Eastern, followed by the defending national champs, the North Carolina Tar Heels, hosting Michigan at 8:30. All right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. It is that time of year again. College athletics are back in our lives. Don't get us wrong, we've enjoyed the MLB season in the summer, the World Cup happening as well. Leo Messi taking MLS by storm in the Leagues Cup. But Morgan, we miss college soccer, we miss college sports. And it's good to have it back.
Honestly, my favorite time of the year as a fan to watch it. Thankfully, there's a lot of good soccer happening this summer to keep me going, but there's no better time than just watching these players compete and knowing what happened last season for both of these teams and what they're trying to get back to this year. It's exciting, especially early on, starting the ACC season for Pitt coming up and Drexel, all that they're wanting to accomplish in the CAA. It's a good time of year.
Ball towards the net. Ellie Breach, pretty comfortable with it. But Drexel's starting to find themselves just a little bit more as this match has grown on.
And it's some of the subs who have come in for Drexel who have really made a difference, their attacking front. Also, I think it's helped that Pitt has made a couple changes, a couple substitutions, so that midfield is still creating space. I just don't think they have the same personnel and just the same chemistry. as these players are still getting used to one another. But Drexel taking advantage of that because the players that they have brought on have been locked in. Also, they had the ability to watch early on and kind of see what Pitt was doing, so maybe it worked in their favor a bit.
A jostle towards the net. Breach does well, as it was Tate again, just crashing in from the left side of that 18.
And Tate just beats her player here, actually on the outside, gets her shoulder down. Well done from Breach to come out. Tate's a hard collision. Both players getting after that ball.
Yeah, Meg Tate, the senior from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Her goal in the 38th minute on Thursday at Fordham proved to be the game winner. Drexel 3-0 against the Fordham Rams. Brocious and Kuzi also getting into the mix on the scoring sheet. Hard tackle and stoppage of play. Are we going to see a player go into the book? I believe that is exactly what just happened.
It almost looks like it was a bit of a missed tackle.
Yeah, Morgan-Ava Boyd going into the book, the freshman from Ontario, Canada. Want to save the follow-up, still with Pitt. Joe Chase has done well. Wow, from point-blank range, too.
Not just done well, Aria. That was fantastic. Quick saves from Chase. Sometimes, too, when your team is struggling to find their footing a little bit, we've seen a better performance from Drexel really in the second part of this first half. But for Chase to come up so big there, that can really be a catalyst.
Gomes staying with it, Abiodun, but a foul going the other way.
It's a good ball bent in. Chase is quick off her line there, then works to get back so she's in position. That ball is hit not from far at all, right around the PK mark. Then another one from the 6. Fantastic work. You can just see all that she does with the footwork. Also saved by her player on the post. Maxwell's in the right position and is quick to get a foot there.
Team defending for Drexel keeps the 4th goal out of the net.
And I'm curious to see what Ragoon comes out with in the second half, because I do think he has a couple decisions to make with some individual performances we've seen. I'd be curious if we see Meg Tate start the second half. Obviously, O'Reilly has created a little bit more with her, but also I think when you look at what Duffy's done on the left side, she's been really good getting forward. So does he switch things up, or I'm not sure. Are they really set with their starting lineup? We already know we'll most likely see a different goalkeeper, and I'm curious what we see with the rest of the players on the field too.
Through ball, pretty good. And again, Joe Chase fields her position well. has impressed over the last 20 minutes or so of this half.
It's a nice slip ball once again, coming from the midfield, a good timed run. Well done from Chase. She's confident coming off that line. I think those saves really helped as she finds her way in. The ball just played over the shoulder. Well done.
Coach Goon said it'll be a priority to get her minutes. And coming up on halftime, make sure you stay with us. Randy Waldrum, and we'll talk about his run with Team Nigeria at the World Cup. We've got ACC preseason notes and storylines, highlights and stats. We'll also have an interview going into the break with Randy. No doubt Coach Waldrum is pleased with the first 45 minutes of this one. His team has 12 shots, 3 found the net, and they have been impressive with the ball in their season, in their home opener. Morgan, what have you liked so far in this first stanza from the Panthers?
Well, their goal was to find ways to get in behind, and they've done that. It's a little bit direct, a couple slip balls. I'm excited to ask Randy what he's seen so far and what he's liked within that, but the way that they've mixed it up and are really playing to their individual skills and setting up players differently, I've really liked that thus far, and they did it early on. They had that early success.
I believe we have Coach Waldrum with us right now. Coach, first 45, always nice to get 3 quick goals. What have you seen from your vantage point?
20-25 minutes with the first group we had on. I thought they were fantastic with their movement. One of the things we talked about that we didn't do good enough in the last match against Buffalo was really get behind them, exploit that space behind, and I thought the first group on did a really good job of that. And just the movement out of midfield, I mean, there was a really not a poor performance from anybody in that segment. And then you see a little bit, you know, we're playing some young players now. We got getting some time for some young players, and you can see a little bit of that breaks down here and there, but you know, they'll get better with more time.
Randy, you looked really happy when we saw that goal from Samiah Phiri. What did you see from her in that first half?
Yeah, she's so dangerous. She's so good with her back to goal. She's deceptive. She's got more pace than people think, and then she's got this quick ability to turn defenders, especially when they play her close, you know, on her back. And it's always happy to see her get rewarded because it seems like she doesn't always get the reward that she deserves. So it was great to see her get a goal.
Coach, good 45 minutes. Got 45 more. Appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you, guys.
3-0. Schupansky twice, Phiri once. All smiles for the Panthers of Pittsburgh. Halftime coming up. We've got a loaded show for you. Don't go anywhere.
Vintage Y2K.
Yes.
Oh, retro Samsung. Very impressive.
You think so?
At AT&T, it's worth a new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5. Any year, any condition. Even that condition.
Subway refreshed their ingredients, their menu, and now they're slicing their meats fresh. That's why their new Subway Series subs are preferred by this champ.
And this future champ. Pros who are talking heads prefer fresh sliced turkey.
And pros who use their heads prefer fresh sliced ham.
More deli meats are preferred by this QB.
And preferred by his old backup QB.
And if we prefer it, we know you'll prefer it too. Is this slice as good as your tennis slice?
I can't answer that, but yes.
Talk to me, I'll speak to you. Can you listen to the sound?
Call Jill.
It's your journey. Own every mile in the Hyundai Santa Fe with America's best warranty.
Right now, get 0% APR financing on the 2023 Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Come on, Reese's. Did you really wake up looking like this? Smoking.
Kit Kat, 3 crispy wafers covered in milk chocolate. Work it, wafers.
You're about to go viral, but it's not so bad, even if you'll forever be known as the #dad. Just remember to take life one spoonful at a time and go. Go to your skippy place.
I'm a bear. I'm coming out of hibernation, and Papa is hungry. And while you're hitting the trail, I'm hitting your cooler. And your cut rate car insurance might not pay for all of this. So get Allstate.
Did you guys remember Career Day last year? Elaine Hartzell came as a Hershey's taste tester. Well, I told Hershey about that. Seeing the way that Hershey's had made the dream come true has just really been exciting.
Back here in Pittsburgh, where the Panthers lead 3-0 over Drexel, a dominant start on their home turf for the Panthers. Well, it's been a summer of soccer. I'm Mario Masudi alongside Morgan Bowen, and Randy Waldrum, the head coach of the Pitt Panthers, had such a unique experience as the manager of the Nigerian women's national team. And this summer, what an absolute treat they were to watch over in Australia. They made it to the round of 16, and it was just an absolute pleasure as you saw Coach Waldrum putting his influence on the Nigerians.
What's so interesting about this, too, is it's a huge deal when a player in college is playing in the World Cup, but there's not a lot of coaches that have coached in the World Cup as well. So listening to just Randy's experience and what he did with Nigeria, they entered the tournament at 40th in the world and got through their group stage without conceding a game. Yes, they lost to England in penalty kicks, but they didn't technically lose that game when you look at the result outside of penalty kicks. So just what they accomplished was incredible. Also to be able to beat Australia, who then is playing in the third place game, such a huge result for them and just so successful. And he was just so happy for his team and what they accomplished.
To beat the host nation in front of 47,000 fans, Coach Waldrum said it was simply surreal and a memory he's never going to forget in his coaching career. We talk about the NCAA and its influence on the Women's World Cup. You're seeing a direct correlation between players who play at the collegiate level and their opportunities internationally as well. And look at the ACC ties. Florida State, North Carolina, and then you look at current ACC players, Morgan, they are littered in the ACC this year as well.
And we know Florida State does tend to recruit a lot internationally. That's in their pipeline. But then you look at Kiki Van Zanten from Notre Dame. Obviously, we've talked about Deborah Abiodun and just the experience that she's now bringing into Pitt just as a freshman to be able to play on that level. So it's cool to just see the NCAA expand and have a little bit more of that international experience. And just when you look at former NCAA players and what they're creating, the game just continues to grow.
And Abiodun and Echegini of Florida State, teammates for Randy Waldrum on Team Nigeria. Oh, the beautiful Pittsburgh skyline on the banks of the Allegheny. All smiles, Pitt 3, Drexel 0. Halftime continues after this.
Subway refreshed their ingredients, their menu, and now they're slicing their meats fresh. That's why their new Subway Series subs are preferred by this champ.
And this future champ. Pros who are talking heads prefer fresh sliced turkey.
And pros who use their heads prefer fresh sliced ham.
More deli meats are preferred by this QB.
And preferred by his old backup QB.
And if we prefer it, we know you'll prefer it too. Is this slice as good as your tennis slice?
I can't answer that, but yes.
Talk to me, I'll speak to you. Can you listen to the sound?
Call Jill.
It's your journey. Own every mile in the Hyundai Santa Fe with America's best warranty.
Right now, get 0% APR financing on the 2023 Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
It's a great lot. And the previous owner was really into DIY.
Okay.
Automatic shades. Stair slide.
At least we could bundle our home and car insurance with Geico. True.
Super slippery. Woo!
Is that a chinchilla?
Yes. Wait till you see this. A Murphy tub.
Finding a perfect home is hard. Thankfully, Geico makes it easy to bundle and save.
Look at all that floor space.
Vintage Y2K.
Yes.
Oh, retro Samsung. Very impressive.
You think so?
At AT&T, it's worth a new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5. Any year, any condition. Even that condition.
Are you having trouble finding a place for your precious bundle of fur?
We say.
Introducing Verizon's new Business Unlimited 5G plans, built to give you even more value. Now including more premium hotspot data, call filter plus, and travel pass. Now get more of what matters to your business with Verizon.
Call time. How y'all doing today? Y'all good? Let's have some fun with this one, all right? Minute opportunity to be the foundation for you to add your goals, add your hustle, add your vision for the rest of your day today. Come on.
Work. Work it. Work. Work to be a winner.
Steel City. And of course, I'm sure they're getting into high gear for football season, both with the Panthers and the Steelers. But on this Sunday afternoon, it's all about soccer, and they'd be proud to know that their Panthers are up 3-0 at the break. And you see the preseason polls: North Carolina, Florida State, Virginia, and then Notre Dame, Duke, Clemson. Is Pitt ranked too low in the preseason at 7? I think people might be sleeping on Randy Waldrum's team, but Morgan, it's a testament to how good the ACC is year in and year out.
Because you have to remember, too, they're 7th in their conference and ranked 14th in the country. So, yeah, they might be a little bit lower. I think when it comes to those top 4 or 5 teams, they're always in the same mix. It's just what order are they going to end up in. And then with Clemson, you look at who they're returning. But Pitt, I think they have so much to prove once again. And honestly, if they were a little bit higher, I'd be curious. Do they still have that kind of blue-collar chip on their shoulder a little bit? So maybe it worked out that they're 7.
To your point exactly. We talk about how good the ACC is. You got 5 teams in the top 10 of the coaches poll. UNC, does Anson Dorrance's group have an ACC title in them? Last year, Florida State knocked them off, and then they beat Florida State in the College Cup. That'll be a fun storyline. And speaking of Brian Penske's Noles, second season, taking over from Mark Krikorian, and he has added some big-time transfers, not to mention Leah Pace as well from Pitt joining the Noles.
I think something that makes the ACC so exciting is who is returning, but also look at these players that are coming back in who maybe haven't made their mark yet, whether transfers, whether new signings. It's always so fun to watch, especially as the season unfolds.
Taylor Huff scored in her seminal debut on Thursday at Texas A&M, and so immediate impact transfers all across the ACC. 45 minutes of soccer still left to be played. Pitt 3, Drexel 0.
Subway refreshed their ingredients, their menu, and now they're slicing their meats fresh. That's why their new Subway Series subs are preferred by this champ.
And this future champ. Pros who are talking heads prefer fresh sliced turkey.
And pros who use their heads prefer fresh sliced ham.
More deli meats are preferred by this QB.
And preferred by his old backup QB.
And if we prefer it, we know you'll prefer it too. Is this slice as good as your tennis slice?
I can't answer that, but yes.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. You're fans of the grind, of sun drying, kneading, and flattening. All for a perfectly imperfect tortilla. You've never bought into the idea of store-bought, because you know saving time is never as important as cherishing it. You are fighters, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
I'm Patriotic Kenny.
And hi, I'm Amanda on TikTok.
My scooter broke down. I went into a depression.
How do you feel about that?
Pretty sad.
And I posted it to show that Kenny's not always happy. Within 24 hours, people had donated over $5,000.
Oh, you're kidding.
We set up the Patriotic Kenny Foundation to give mobility scooters to veterans.
It has changed my life tremendously.
None of this would have happened without TikTok.
I'm your overly competitive brother. Check. Psych.
Really? Dude, that's a foul!
But now you're ready to settle a score. And if you don't have the right home insurance coverage, well, you can end up paying for all this yourself. So get Allstate.
Who's ready to show who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach!
Official sponsor of the college football playoff.
Kick back and relax. You have extra time to avoid overdraft fees. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
School on! Save on!
Your local Staples store has low prices for back to school. All the tech, all the essentials, in stock. School on, save on. Check out this week's deals at Staples.
Small businesses are the backbone of America. They're the place where people know the people they work with, where you have family businesses that are more than just a place to do commerce.
The small business deduction, which is so critical,
allows businesses to use cash flow for future investment, whether it be capital investment or investment in their staff.
Congress, we want you to fight for us as a small business.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh. Kind enough to join us, Drexel head coach Ray Goon. All right, Coach, well, thoughts on the first 45?
Yeah, I think we forgot to get off the bus. Wasn't pleased with our physical effort, and hopefully we can change that around here in the second half.
As the first half went on and we saw Duffy and Tate come in, you all created a little bit more on the attacking side. What did you see from those two?
Well, yeah, we talked about that on the sideline, that you got to bring the energy first. So that was their purpose, was to come on and try to spark the team a little bit, and I think they did well with that.
Coach, what do you want to see your team do in these next 45 as you guys try and build back into the match?
Yeah, I just think, no disrespect to Pitt, but just a little bit too much respect, and I want to see our team battle a little bit more.
Well, Coach, certainly appreciate your time, and best of luck in the next 45 minutes.
Thank you.
Highlights. Morgan, what did you like from the way Schupansky played in the first half?
I mean, her ability to finish. First off, she's getting in behind the ball. It's work from Minas now on the second goal. That turn from Samiah Phiri just to keep the ball so close to her. And then Landy Mertz laying this ball in the perfect spot right across the Schupansky. It's a great finish, but honestly, the way Mertz set her up was so solid.
And so Pitt set the tone from the get-go and was able to feel pretty comfortable about that first half. Still 45 minutes to go as we take a look at the stats. 6 shots on goal out of 12. You'll take that. Possessed pretty well. But on the flip side, and Morgan, you mentioned it, and you asked Coach, when Tate and Duffy came in, it felt like Drexel started to find some confidence, especially in the latter part of the first half.
And I was wondering a little bit about what that conversation was like on the sideline, and it sounds like they had that one, right? You need to bring in the energy. They were able to see what was going on, and that's when you really saw a lot of these stats for Drexel come a little bit more about. They were able to get the possession a little bit more evened out, but I think everything he said was spot on. They are giving Pitt a lot of respect. They're giving them a lot of space. So Pitt is doing fantastic things. They're executing, but they're not really being pressured too much. And I think that's what the conversation was from Ray Goon to his Drexel team at halftime.
Amanda West starting the second half. How did you feel like West looked in that first 45 minutes as she builds back from the ACL?
I mean, I think she looked good. She was playing her game, but I also think the players around her looked really good too, which takes nothing away from her. I just think it speaks to where Pitt is at right now with their attackers. You said it, we were talking off air before the game, that they could have some of the best front combinations, not just in the conference, but in the country. And I think that's what shows as we want to talk so much about Amanda West, and we will. She will be such a big part of that conversation all season, but it's hard to just talk about her when you have so many other players creating around her.
Leads so many offensive categories in the record books for Pitt. Something striking, though, that Coach Waldrum said about Amanda West is, as good as she is, and we are so thrilled she's back, we learned last year that we could win without her, and that was a big deal to Landy Mertz, to Schupansky, to Samiah Phiri, who probably grew into her own late in the season as she got more minutes, and you see her score today. How does that overall combination, in your opinion, allow Pitt to be that much more dangerous as they trek towards their goals?
Well, and it was my conversation about goals by committee and success by committee. I also think it's actually going to make West even better because she created so much when every team had multiple players on her. She was still able to do that. She might find herself having a little bit more space because now opponents have to worry about so many different players because they saw what Pitt did last year. So it might be different at first, especially as she's working her way back in. And the way she was successful might not be the exact same, but I think it's going to make her a more complete player, and I think you'll still see her having just as much of an impact on this program. It's going to continue, but it's also going to be other players doing it as well. So individually, it might be a little bit difficult for her at first because she's not going to be the one being fed all the time, but in the long run, I think it's going to make this team more successful, and I think she'll probably have even more success later in the season as things get a little bit, the stakes are a little bit higher.
Coach Waldrum said, look, when she scored on Thursday at Buffalo, everybody breathed a sigh of relief as that ball threw really good into the box, pass across. Speak of the devil, Amanda West scores. Right on cue, take a bow, Pitt. They start the second the way they started the first. Lightning out of the box.
What I have been so impressed with this Pitt team is how they have started both halves. It's the ball in the middle to Abby Odun. She plays the split one all the way to Landy Mertz. So once again, they find their way in behind. Mertz continues to play fantastic service right on the spot. This might be the easiest goal Amanda West will score, but she's able to finish. And that's what I'm talking about. It's other players stepping up, and then she's going to have her opportunity, and you know she's still going to capitalize.
41st career goal. Don't you just love when the whole broadcast comes together? You've got support, you're talking about a player, and then she rewards you with a goal, not knowing at all that you're talking about her in those few minutes. Just excellent. And of course, such a talented player Amanda West is, scoring Thursday night, scoring today. Coach Waldron talked about just how you want her to get those goals early, and the first step back from a major injury is believing that you can still do it. Not that you don't have the confidence, right, as a player, but that when you finally see it put into action, it kind of takes that weight off your shoulders and allows you to just be you on the field.
And I think if you are Pitt and you are Amanda West coming back, if you're Chloe Menas coming back, it's really good to see them doing what they're wanting to do, like you were saying, what Randy Waldrum is wanting for this program. And it's happening. And I think it's all the players are so in tune. My question coming in was, how do they manage last year? How do they not get so stuck in what happened and we did that? How can they actually then go further? I'm not surprised. I know they'll be able to, but they do have to manage that because that's newer for this team. So it's good to see that they have that mindset that they want to get back there, and they're going to do it, and they're going to play their way. And what they did last year is not going to limit them. It's actually just going to inspire them just a little bit more.
This is good from Drexel, enjoying some of the possession and the ball. Oh, and just a bit rushed. There for the Dragons, Peroto.
And it's a really good combination in the midfield. It starts with Kuzi. She's the one who dropped down, was able to find Parado on the ball. Unfortunately, that final bit wasn't there. But I like seeing that in the midfield, getting players to drop in, creating a little bit, and also Parado being confident on the ball with it at her foot.
Parado, the senior from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. West, captain's arms band on to her left, good defending. That was 16, Layla Payton on the defense, but a corner now coming for Pitt.
Well, it's fantastic defending by Layla Payton because you know West can go left end line, she can cut inside right. Payton was also beat a little bit with that first touch by West, but she was able to get back.
You see on your screen in red, Molly Piso now in the net for Joelle Chase. Part of the keeper by committee approach for Drexel early on in the season. She'll get the next 45 minutes. The senior from Hermitage. Moon, Evers, Bout, Abiodun, Doheny, and DeRay also started this second half for Pitt, keeping tabs at home. Playing it short, trying a dummy, no teammates in the vicinity. But Pitt staying with it. Abiodun on running, Mertz. A little too heavy. There's Landy Mertz, Steel City native, Dayton transfer. Beginning her career in the state of Ohio. Athletic and dynamic. Third team All-ACC last year for Mertz. Really one of the players that took full advantage of the opportunity with West out. Was challenged with growing her game, and she did just that as the Panthers made the third round of the NCAA tournament, that Sweet 16. What will the Panthers do this season? Loaded in the attack. They do have some question marks on that back line, namely having to replace both outside backs, both now playing professional soccer. Davidson and Palomo. In swinging ball. Back heel. Cleared away. And speaking of back lines, when we talk about Pitt, Morgan, you spent time on the back line. What is that like, having to replace teammates? How long does it take to really build that chemistry? No hospital ball, though, for Drexel. West going down, staying with it. Abiodun. Across corner. Check that. It'll be a goal kick, last touched by a player in white.
And Aria, going off your question about replacing players on the back line, chemistry is so important all across the field, but especially when it comes to that back line and your goalkeeper tied into it, those players have to be on the same page. And Pitt's not just replacing two outside backs, it's also their goalkeeper with Lazzarini moving on as well, and she was such a big part of this Pitt program. But I think what works out for Pitt is that they have their two center backs returning, so they have a little bit more consistency there with Gordon and Zalesky, who started the game. They were those starters last year. But losing Davidson, she was just your classic outside back. She would get forward, at times just a really hard-nosed defender. But then when you talk about Adelie Palomo, she created so much at her feet. She was so technical and good on the ball. And just she was able to get into the midfield and almost be another midfielder at times, and could kind of create some overloads, not just from the outside run, but a playmaker. So losing that is a little bit different, but I think what's supportive for Pitt is that they have so many attacking players. So missing that, they actually can add into their midfield, but it's just the consistency that they had on that back line, and knowing that the players that were out wide had played in big games, and they just had that experience as well. And that's going to take a little bit to replace, because now the players you're looking at, when we started with Olivia Lee and Lainey Fuchs, younger players coming in, they just don't have that big game experience yet, but they'll get there.
Randy Waldron really excited about some of these freshmen that he's brought in. Thinks they could be program changers. We mentioned Fuchs, of course, in the Austrian national team program. Drexel firing away off the bar. Trying to find one, and they do. Dragons on the board. It's Delaney Lappin, the captain. And Drexel pulls one back.
It's Delaney Lappin But it's also Annalena O'Reilly. She's special in the midfield. She gets right past Moon, keeps going, lets this ball go from distance, hits the crossbar, but then you have Parado keeping it alive. She's able to knock it back across and Lappin. We were told by Ragoon that she has a nose for goal. She's in the right place at the right time. It's a perfect example because Parado keeps it alive. Lappin finds her way there. It's not the prettiest goal, but she knocks it home.
First goal of the year for Delaney Lappin. Last season, CAA Attacking Player of the Year. That's going to make Ragoon smile. But could Pitt find it right back? It'll be a corner. And if you missed the interview, Coach Goon said, I think we forgot to get off the bus. They got off the bus, didn't they? I think they got the memo on this one.
Well, O'Reilly came out in this second half. She was good towards the end of the first half. In that second half, she's confident, lets this one go. And then it's the team, the players getting forward, Parado doing her job, Lappin working hard to get forward because she's also been stuck defending at times.
Punched away by Piso.
I'm always curious, Aria, what is the conversation actually like at halftime? I know the conversations I heard at halftime, and coaches are always different on coach calls and their interviews, and also just kind of in the heat of it. I'm curious how Goon shared that with this team because we have seen their team defending a little bit better. They've been more compact in this second half, limited Pitt a little bit more, and then obviously they're confident on the attacking end.
Had it down, a goal kick. Morgan, you would know better than I, no doubt. I've always wondered what Chugger's like in the locker room. He's so nice to everybody, to the media and the outside world. There's no doubt he has a competitive spirit to him, though. I'm sure he is gives a good pep talk, as does Randy Waldrum.
Gives a great pep talk, still a great guy. But also, it's not just the coaches, right? It's the players, because the players are sometimes the one who pump up their teams a little bit more. Halftime's that one chance you have to really talk, and usually coaches allow their teams to have those couple moments while the coaches are also figuring out their game plan. So I'm curious, especially when we were talking with Ragoon, we asked who is the leader of this team, who is the captain, and he was so big to just say, our whole team is. We have our group of captains, we have our senior class, but they have different players who step up, and I'm curious who's the vocal one, who's actually telling them we're better than this is what we need to do, because what they talked about at half, they came out with a different energy, and I think it started towards the end of that first half. They were able to regroup a little bit and then take advantage of an opportunity.
Punched out by Piso, staying with Pitt. A lot of pressure from the Panthers. Drexel, though, playing a little bit better. Morgan, I am curious as you... Go ahead, sorry.
No, you're good. They also brought in Meg Tate a little bit earlier. So playing better and seeing her as an opportunity. Kuzi was good dropping into the midfield early in the second half, but obviously there was something shared there based off what Ray told us at halftime about seeing the game, needing a little bit of a spark. I'm not surprised he's putting Meg Tate in. She provided that in the first half.
Tate scoring a goal on Thursday night, to your point, and perhaps will be a catalyst offensively for Drexel this season. You're going to need more players, right, than Lappin to step up, than O'Reilly to step up. You need a few more supporting players when we look at Pitt and how many they have, but Drexel, as they get into the teeth of their schedule, they're going to look for answers as they try and continue to put balls in the back of the net.
And I know the score is still not fully going in their favor, but for Drexel to be able to have their key players that they need to step up, they did that in the goal. When you look at what O'Reilly did, not just with the shot, but also with the ball at her feet to be able to get by her defender and create, and she did all that on the run. It's not like the ball was knocked back to her and she just let one go. She created that herself. And then you have your supporting player, Parado, getting forward.
Bounced in. West. Still West onto her right. Decent effort. Good positioning from Piso.
It looked at first like Piso wanted to maybe play short, was trying to find outside backs, and then decided to get everyone forward. I'd be curious if Drexel does decide to play out of the back, obviously to allow them to maintain possession, but it really would require a lot of work from those midfielders, knowing that Pitt wants to win the ball higher up the field.
Catch ACC PM this week from 4 to 7 Eastern with Mark Packer and Taylor Tannenbaum. We'll have new shows Monday and Friday from Mark's Basement Studio in Charlotte. They'll have the latest news from around the conference as the ACC college football season kicks off on Thursday, August 31st.
Now the man for Drexel, number 21, Liv Burgess, and number 10, Alina Perez. Now the game for Panthers, number 23, Samiah Phiri, number 2,
Haley Mercero, Samiah Phiri, both come into the match. Getting a couple more notes. Lainey Fuchs in for Evers. Olivia Lee as well. In for Moon. Drexel, Liv Brocious in, as well as Jess Castorina.
Into the match for Drexel, number 28, 24. Into the match for the Panthers, number 4, Caulfield, number 5, Schupansky, number 10, Phiri, and number 15, Chloe.
There's Mellenhorst on your screen. Caulfield as well. A lot of subs by both teams in this one, as you would expect. Early season, trying to manage minutes, manage legs, get a good evaluation on a number of young players.
Aria, with those subs, we're also seeing a little bit of a different look from Pitt because you have Schupansky, who last year was playing out wide left. Then today we saw her more in that attacking mid role. She's now out wide right. They also have some double sixes going on with Chloe Minas and Ellie Caulfield coming in together. Randy told us we might see a little bit of that, especially while they're trying to figure out the lineup. So it's nice to see both of them in, and I'm curious how we'll see that partnership play out.